Tonight, we witnessed history. You're locked on.
You are Locked On UConn, your daily podcast on the UConn Huskies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On UConn your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for jumping into this live episode of Locked On UConn. If you're enjoying the show, please take a moment to subscribe and follow wherever you listen to your audio versions. Thanks for making Locked On UConn your first listen every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers place a $5 bet and you get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, welcome to Locked On UConn. Tonight, we witnessed history. It was made as expected. The Huskies delivered on all fronts. Fairleigh Dickinson put up a fight, as we talked about earlier in the day, but UConn's depth and talent proved to be too much, cruising to a convincing win. Geno Auriemma's officially surpasses Tara VanDerveer's record with 1,217th career win. I had to step back and just think about that. You know, cementing that legacy as the winningest coach in college basketball history, men's or women's. Bottom line is, Geno is amazing. Being in his presence recently last Friday, listening to his press conferences, everything that he's about, the guy's one of a kind. And I'm happy for him from the bottom of my heart. Let's break it all down. The Huskies handled business on the court with a dominant performance over FDU. The Knights showed some heart, but UConn's firepower was just overwhelming. In particular, I would have to say that Sarah Strong showed the type of flashes of her well-known outside shooting game that has not been seen yet this season. Knocking down shots from deep with confidence. And what I noticed a little bit just from like a technical perspective is Sarah was literally kind of just flinging it up there instead of having more feel and really just kind of trusting the rotation. And tonight, it all came together. And that is in itself so encouraging for this UConn team, because on a night that Paige, even though she had good scoring numbers, really wasn't like flowing the way she usually does. It was good to see Sarah essentially take over. Let's take a look at these stats. I was going to pull those up before, but I was watching the post game and all that stuff. I don't care if I yawn on this podcast. I'm exhausted. It's 9:00. I'm old. Yeah, let's get these stats. UConn should have pulled them up earlier. I apologize, but we're not paused here. We're recording live. And so 85-41 win. Sarah Strong had 20 points, led all scorers. Let's see what Paige, I think she had 18. 16 points, but not the efficient Paige. 6 of 13 from the floor, was 1 of 5 from three. She missed a wide open three, the last shot of the game that she took. Sarah Strong, 4 of 7 from three, 8 of 13. Had another all-around game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Caitlin Chen started really hot. She had 11 points, 3 assists, 3 steals. Ice Brady continues her solid play. Not as many rebounds as I thought, but you know what? 10 points, 2 rebounds. And then we talk about the bench. How about AZ Fudd returning? Came off the bench for 12 minutes. That's perfect. It's a perfect amount. 12 minutes today, then maybe 14 minutes against Oregon State. And just kind of ease her into the game. Had 4 points, was 2 of 2 on the free throw line. Missed her only 3 3-point attempts. Keep shooting. Incredible, right? So that's the game. On the defensive side, Huskies were relentless. They had great effort. They continued to create turnovers. FDU had 18 turnovers to UConn 6. It's a great plus-minus there. So we were happy with that. The game in itself couldn't have gone any better, in my opinion, but it was another step to UConn's journey towards this sustained excellence with this depth and the talent that they have, and kind of figuring out their roles. I guess Geno Alfie is, she's struggling a little bit, but that's okay. There's time. Plenty of time. 14 minutes for her. She was 1 of 6 from the floor. I know Geno's probably not going to, go crazy about her tonight, but I'm sure the film room's not going to be pleasant in the next couple of days. Caden Samuels gave him a few good minutes off the bench. KK Arnold had the most off the bench for 20 minutes. She probably was the most productive when we look at these numbers. I was pretty impressed with the team as a whole. Just overmatched FDU. We're gonna step up the competition as the time goes on. When we return, let's talk about our old friends here, FanDuel, and then also talk about the winningest coach in basketball history, because that's what this game was about tonight. And I understand if you're watching the live show and Geno's still talking, that's okay. I still wanted to come on and give my thoughts. All right, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're a new customer right now, you can go to FanDuel, download the app, and get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's it. That's as simple as that. UConn right now, I think, is plus 450 to win the national championship on the women's side. So pretty good odds. So go ahead and put $100 on that. You win $450. That's what I would do if I was had some money to bet right now. I would 100% put it on UConn to win a future bet. But if you're interested in all of the NFL games, you can do live betting, and you can watch it all while you do your app on your phone. It's FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Again, $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet on America's #1 sportsbook. All right, we're back on Locked On UConn. What is this? See in the comments. Sorry, Geno, not going to make any money off of Caitlin Clark in the garbage league. Ha ha ha. Why are there so many trolls when we do UConn women's basketball? I mean, I know the internet is a cesspool of people, but it just kind of makes me just wonder who these people are and what rocks they crawl underneath. Because I'm going to put Bernie's quote up here. For Kent and all the haters and weirdos out there, 23 Final Fours, 11 national championships, 3 streaks of 70 straight in an 88% winning streak. That's the 88% winning percentage. That's not up here. And more in his career. Just an amazing coach. He almost was not the head coach. He was almost an assistant at New Mexico. Yep. Yeah. I don't remember Caitlin Clark winning a national championship either, Kent. So she clearly needed Geno. He didn't need her. So anyway, enjoy the back-to-back run. Bernie, you're so spot on, man. Like, these people are wild. Celebrating a player. And listen, Caitlin's a great player. Don't get me wrong. But to use her greatness to denigrate Geno and, he didn't recruit her or whatever. He's got Paige. She just happened to be hurt most of her career. That's the bottom line. Paige Beckers is a better player than Caitlin Clark. There, I said it. I don't care what you think. And she always will be going forward. All right. Look, the game was just the backdrop to the unforgettable night with the celebration and tributes. We just saw Rebecca Lobo, one of UConn's most beloved legends, and my personal favorite, spoke about what it means to be a part of the UConn family. Her heartfelt words kind of reminded me of being a kid and, everyone of the legacy of Geno and CD have built and the impact it's had on so many lives. Sue Bird, again, shared some stories about, the culture that Geno and CD have cultivated, highlighted how those lessons have shaped her career, both on and off the court. Maya Moore delivered a pretty interesting speech in terms of like how much Coach meant to her. And then at kind of going in reverse order, Nike presented Geno with a special award with a ladder, kind of climbing the ladder towards greatness, and for recognizing his contributions to the sport and his role in shaping the game's future. And then lastly, but this is the first one, Ned Lamont, governor of Connecticut, unveiled a road sign. And I'm going to show it to you. Check it out. Welcome to Connecticut, home of the winningest coach in basketball history. Pretty cool stuff. You don't get that in Iowa. You definitely don't get that in Tennessee, where I've heard people talk about Pat Summitt being the greatest coach of all time, or even in California, where Tara VanDerveer was but is no longer the winningest coach in basketball history. So that's pretty cool. Look, this team is great. They're going to have a really good season. I'm going to go one more break, give you one more ad, and when we return, we're going to talk about, what this game meant to me, my thoughts and reflections on this 1217th win. I'm exhausted. I have kids to tend to. My wife is probably mad that I'm up here doing the show. But I really wanted to kind of highlight, some of this stuff and not give you guys kind of the song and dance of, hey, I couldn't make it over here tonight. So it's important to me to show out and be a part of this. So after the break, we're going to talk a little bit more and then call it a night and go and celebrate Geno's win. What's up, my friends? I love a great deal just as much as anybody. And it's not just about saving a few bucks, but I don't want to walk through all kinds of hoops or, do all kinds of crazy stuff. No BS. Just Mint Mobile said it was easy to get wireless and fit for $15 a month. And guess what? It is. The longest part of the process was the time I spent getting rid of my old wireless provider. To get started, go to mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. There you'll see right now all 3-month plans are $15 a month, including the unlimited plan. To get the new customer offer in your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15, go to mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. That's mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/lockedoncollege. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions may apply. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, y'all. Last segment of the night. Look, tonight wasn't just about the numbers or the win. It was about legacy. It was about celebrating what Geno and CD have built over the 40 years. And to me, it really was about, UConn's dominance on full display, both on the court and figuratively. All the legends, the 63 people that showed up tonight from his first team in 1985 to, a few of the more recent stars like Diana Taurasi, my favorite, of course, Rebecca Lobo. But think back to 1985. Let's just go over this again one more time. When Geno and CD started with nothing, a team that barely drew any fans, they said it tonight. They were going to think about letting people in for free because they didn't think anyone was going to show up. They didn't have resources, the recruiting power, or even the reputation of a competitive program yet. But here we are, 40 years later, watching UConn celebrated as the pinnacle of excellence in college basketball. Tonight's milestone wasn't just about surpassing Tara VanDerveer's record of 1,216 wins. It was about recognizing what it looks like and what it took to get here. Hard work, sacrifice, sleepless nights, countless practices where a young team learned what it meant to be great. Geno made it clear that this moment wasn't about him. Made sure he credited Chris Dailey. She gave a great speech, talked about her high school friends had found TEDs, thought that was funny. The players who bought into the vision and the fans who supported that journey from the very beginning. Chris Dailey talked about how she taught a jogging class, and we talked about that in the podcast this morning. Incredible, right? She gave the student section an A tonight, and I thought that was a nice chant. Nice touch. Rebecca Lobo, one of UConn's most iconic players in the heart of its first national champion team, captured it perfectly. She spoke about what it meant to be a part of this program, how it shaped her life, and the joy and pride of wearing the Connecticut across her chest. Sue Bird, Maya Moore echoed those sentiments, sharing the unique perspectives. As we talked about, Governor Ned Lamont gave the road sign that I will show one more time in case you didn't see it. Home to Connecticut. Welcome to Connecticut, home of the winningest coach in basketball history, Coach Geno Auriemma. Had to show that one more time. Geno's the best, guys. I'm going to close out. Bernie has a cool little thing here. If it wasn't for Geno and Pat Summitt for that game in 1995, where UConn beat Tennessee at Gampel, was the turning point of women's college basketball. Don't hate on Geno, don't hate on UConn. Honestly, man, I couldn't say it any better myself. This has been another episode of Locked On UConn. I'm your host, Mark Zanetto, asking you to stay locked on, stay connected, and as always, remember, it's not just about getting it done. It's about doing it in a way that it can't be done any better. That's our goal every day. It's been the goal for 40 years here at UConn with Geno and Chris and all the players and all the coaches that have been involved. Geno is the GOAT. He is well-deserving of the accolades that he is getting tonight. I want to tell him that we appreciate him at Locked On UConn, and we appreciate CD and all of their team and all of their staff. As always, go Huskies.